when the Isekai protagonist was a villain
Every isekai at its core is about redemption, a do-over,
and crying.
second chance at life. Many series use this to explore characters finally living for themselves, but one series does something completely different. The beginning after the end's protagonist, Arthur, is not an ordinary isekai protagonist, because even in his new life, he can't escape the monster he used to be.
Okay, this is a dictator. He's killing
Most
everybody.
Protagonists are losers. Their life kind of sucked before they got into this new fantasy world where they're gonna go
I want to
on
see the opposite Isekai, when the guy is perfect, a billionaire, his life is awesome, and then he becomes shit.
amazing
And he has to eat pork and mud.
power fantasy. Arthur, on the other hand, was actually very successful, as he was a king in his past life. Now, King Gray only cared about one thing really, and that was power.
I don't know why.
And he was willing to do anything to get that power and then keep that power. Doing such things like bombing entire cities.
I don't know the truth about bombing stuff, but if I had to bomb some country or something, I think I would feel some joy. I
He's
don't
in
know.
order farming to absolutely
Because those people love to bomb cities.
no one. And
Like, see the happiness when you bomb something. It's great.
overall just being a very cruel person. Now, we can give him some leeway here
Wait,
because
he's not
he was an
smiling.
orphan.
Like, this is not a fun bombing.
No one. And overall just being a very
Like, when every time my buds they try to bomb something and explode a city or a neighborhood or something with bombs and nuclear weapons, they never put this face. This is a face. This is not a face of a real bomber. A real bomber is gonna be happy.
person. Now, we can
It's
give
gonna be
him
dancing with the explosion.
some leeway here because he was an orphan in his past life, and as we learn more information about his past world, which was a very futuristic and dystopian society, and as an orphan from this world, he was actually brought up to be the king. Being the king is more just a title more than anything in this world. They're just basically a killing machine for the government, and you have
Wait, the king works for the government. You're not the king.
be strong to be the king because constantly other people are trying to kill you so they can be the next king. So he never really had the chance to learn what love was and develop empathy, really.
I
So
don't think this guy needs empathy.
when he, not shockingly, gets poisoned and isekai'd into this new world, that mentality kind of
I think this guy only needs to rest, to be honest. If he had 3 days of a rest, he stopped with this.
sticks around for a while. He's cold, he's calculating as a baby. Again, really only focusing
I don't trust babies. They're all planning stuff. They're all like doing something in the shadows.
on gaining power. But luckily, he
The guy's meditating.
was reborn into a very loving family, so over the years he starts to really understand what it means to be loved and starts to understand what it means to love people back, and he really does start to develop empathy.
Now he's gonna bomb the cities with a smile, not with the sad face.
Now, typically, that would be that.
You need to bomb with love, you know?
Most of these isekai redemption stories, it would be that quick. It would be like, oh, he was a bad guy in his previous life, but thanks to a loving home now, he's a very good person, and now he's gonna go save the world because he needs to protect the things that he now cares about. Nah, not really.
And now he's gonna bomb everybody.
That's not really where this story goes. Instead, now he's just a bad person with something to lose, and he's willing to do anything to make sure that never happens. And that's what makes him dangerous.
Even reincarnating this guy is not enough. Like, the guy is a piece of shit. Even if you try to kill him seven times, he comes back as a piece of shit every time. As a piece of shit as a kid,
Which,
everything.
honestly, I kind of like. That does make a lot of sense. Again, kind of a big issue with isekai is that these characters come to this new world and their old personalities just kind of disappear. And so far, the series has done a great job of showing that even though he's Arthur now, King Gray is still in there. This is not the Disney Channel. This guy was a warlord. He killed people without any mercy. And
Imagine having a baby, and your baby is a reincarnation of a very bloodthirst god or bloodthirst king. And you have like to teach your baby. You sometimes you don't have to kill people. Sometimes you have to, and I don't know, smile a little bit.
that is still sticking around. It doesn't.
And the kid is not gonna listen to it. I wouldn't. If I was the king of the like killing people, I don't know if the country exists, but if I was this type of king, I wouldn't settle for being a nice baby. I will throw my shit
Now
everywhere.
that he has a mommy and daddy who
And he's gonna use his toys as weapons, you know that.
love him. He still only cared about power, it's just now he was going to use that power to protect his family. But then something interesting happens that completely changes his redemption arc. While his family
The baby got bombed by a Tsar bomb.
is moving to a new city, they actually get attacked, and it actually causes Arthur to get separated from his family. It's during this time that he's separated from his family that he learns two very important lessons from two mentors. The first one being Sylvia, who, despite her terrifying appearance,
I think she's gonna teach some good lessons of life. I think she's willing to be good.
teaches him that when you fight with rage and hate, it only fuels violence that will destroy everything in his path, and all that will remain is hate. I do think out of the two
Wait, this bizarre demon is teaching something.
this was probably the most important lesson for him to learn, simply due to the fact that
Thank you, dark demon from the shadows of hell, for teaching me this lesson of love.
this guy's mentality was killing enemies is what people do.
Yes.
Killing is just a normal
Yes,
Saturday
it's just like a playing with a toy.
afternoon for me. But this philosophy does get Arthur thinking. Yes, he wants to protect his family.
This is a problem, don't think.
But he doesn't need to be a monster to do it. If he goes down the same path that he did in his previous life, it will lead to him making the same mistakes. So he
Yeah,
needs
so
to
it's fun again. Fun 2 times.
show some sort of restraint with his new abilities. And that's
Because I know his past was bad, but it was fun, I think,
mentor
for him.
Vir-
I don't like killing, but this guy likes killing. When you do what you love, you're happy, I think.
Korean comes in. Because Arthur is a bit worried. Like every other Isekai protagonist, he has an immense power, and he's scared that this immense power might lead to him doing something that King Gray would have done. So Virion kind of helps him deal with the pressure and responsibilities that come with this power. And it actually adds stakes to the story. Yes, he's learned these lessons, but now he actually has to apply them. Because now
The guy starts meditating like a monk.
he knows that if he doesn't, he more than likely will lose his family and this life that he loves. Another very important thing that these mentors show him is kindness.
Yes, the dark demon is showing kindness.
Which
Thank you, dark demon.
at this stage in Arthur's redemption arc is actually very important. At this point when he meets them, he only really cares about two people, his mom and his dad.
I think it's too much already. He's caring about too many people.
Everybody else is just kind of there. Him being separated from them gives him the opportunity to make more connections. I think the most wholesome and probably my favorite relationship that he forms is with Tess, because it allows him to be an actual kid, something that he didn't have an opportunity to
He has an elf girlfriend.
be in his previous life, as he was constantly taking tests and fighting to become king. And thanks to these connections, he starts to lower his guard more. He starts to become more relaxed in this world. And because of this kindness and his fear that he
No, he's gonna pay for that. I'm sure he's gonna pay for that.
might become
Now everybody's gonna rape him because he's nice.
his old
Something bad's gonna happen, I
self
think.
again, he actually starts to neglect his power. Unlike other Isekai protagonists who just have an overpowered ability off the bat, he actually has to kind of train his power. And thanks to him being from another world where he was extremely good at murder, he's able to train and pick up things very quickly. And at the beginning of the series, he was very adamant to get power for himself. And
I
then
think so. Murdering people is the root of all of his skills.
later
All of his skills. So when he murders people, he becomes strong, learn more.
to protect his family, but now he really doesn't want to. He does see that there is more to life than just power now.
They're
And I
more
find that
they're more to life than killing.
really interesting, because I do wonder if he's doing it more subconsciously, if anything, because of his fear. Him being scared that his power will corrupt him and revert him back to his old self creates this really interesting dynamic that really got me wondering, is he doing this subconsciously? Is he refusing to train and mold his ability because he's scared that he'll become King Gray again? Or is he actively making this choice not to become more powerful because he doesn't care anymore? Because even though he's trying
I think doesn't care. Not caring is better of the options.
really
Because if it was the first option, he was like, I wanna kill. I'm not gonna kill today. I wanna kill. No, I'm not gonna kill today. Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. The second is better. He just don't care.
really hard
He's just chilling.
to go back to his old ways. He does slip up a couple of times. There are a couple of moments where he kind of loses control of his anger just a little bit, and his bloodlust comes out and it
Yeah,
completely
he kills 4 children.
paralyzes a bunch of people.
Nothing happened.
But we all have those kind of days. So it's not like his fear isn't justified. We are shown very clear examples that he could easily become King Gray again. He really starts to question himself. Is he somebody that deserves redemption? Is he somebody that can be loved? And all of this made me question it. It made me start to question.
I can answer this. He deserves love.
Is he actually gaining redemption, or is he just learning how to kind of behave? There's a fundamental difference of knowing what's right from wrong and choosing to do good because it's the right thing to do versus doing good because it's the opposite of what you would have done. I could argue that Arthur necessarily isn't a good person because of that, but I don't think he's necessarily a bad person either. By the end of the series, he becomes an adventurer to train, not to gain more power, but to gain more control over his ability.
Imagine everything happens and then in the end he becomes the sociopath and worse than before.
To test out his abilities in actual dangerous situations, so that way he knows when he needs to restrain himself. Plus, he sees how much he's changed away from his parents. A part of me feels like it's a subconscious choice, a test that he's giving himself to see if he can remain a good person far away from his friends and family. But more realistically, it probably is just due to the fact that he wants to go out into the world and gain more experience. Plus,
oh wait, the karma system is very unfair here, because he was a bloodthirst psychopath and now he's a happy guy with a family. Like, he killed so much and he was like, he got an award. Like, it's a gift. Now you have a better life. You did very bad in your previous life. Now you have a better.
Old ass man stuck in a
imagine a guy doing everything good and becoming a pig in his next life. This guy got lucky.
So it would make sense that he wants some independence.
He got a beautiful family that loves him. Come on.
Is what surprised me the most about the series.
So killing is rewarded.
It's the fact that it was willing to get this in depth and explore the theme of redemption and using the most common isekai tropes to actually add weight to the story. I did find it refreshing to see that everybody in the story is like, yeah, you're a prodigy. You could go to this really cool magical school and become super powerful. And the main character knows that they're super powerful, but they just don't want to necessarily, that they're hesitant because they're
it's a funny thing. The parents, you can be very strong, go, you can be powerful, you can shoot spells and things. I don't want to kill you guys. I don't want to. Should I kill my own parents? I don't know. This is his thoughts.
Scared of their
this guy is very deep into killing, I think.
Life leading into this new one.
But I love this character already. I love killers.
I personally haven't seen a series do something like this before. I'm sure that another isekai has probably done it because this is the isekai genre. There are no such things as original ideas, which is
I have to disagree. I think the villainess level 99 is very original. I think Time Loop is very original. I think My Next Life as a villainess, all roads lead to doom. I don't think Marvel is doing that. I don't think DC is copying that. I don't think DC is copying the most heretical last boss queen from villainess to savior. I don't think they're copying I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. Come on, I think they're all original.
Just kind of hurt this series in a very weird way.
This is not my favorite book.
As I was doing research on this series, I found that a lot of people hate this series because they feel like it's just a carbon copy of Jobless Reincarnation, which I do understand. There were some moments where I was like, that's a Jobless Reincarnation
yes.
scene. That's kind of strange. But as
both of their asses are bad.
As the series went on, the similarities disappeared. I could see the inspiration that Jobless
they're hurting this
gave this series, but it's not a carbon copy in my opinion, and especially when it comes to the characters and their redemption arcs. Rudius is a very flawed, and I mean extremely flawed and bad person who understands that his life was terrible, and now with this second chance he wants to make his second life a better one. Whereas Arthur,
imagine that my last life was so bad, now I'm gonna make it worse. I want to make it very worse. Like I don't want to, and the next life is always get worse. And then in the end, the guy is just a giant super cockroach.
Really didn't know what a good life was. His entire life was about power.
Imagine speedrun karma. Like, I'm gonna do everything so bad that I'm gonna reincarnate as a cockroach. And I'm gonna try it today.
Killing, doing whatever it takes to hold on to the power that he had. Seeing him slowly lower his guard and realize that he was a bad person and realize that, you know, his world kind of sucked. And now he has a really good life, and he can easily screw it up if he starts acting like his old self. Both series do redemption very well, in my opinion. They just do it slightly differently, which is why it kind of saddens me that while I was also doing research, that it seems that a lot of people drop the anime.
Don't listen to the people's opinions from those chats. They're just annoying. They're just complaining about everything. They hate everything. Like, both anime are good. And their guys are, this character is similar. Yeah, Naruto is similar to Goku.
The story was bad or because Arthur was a bad protagonist, but rather the animation. It seems that a lot of people are upset that the fight scenes
I
are
don't know.
just
Animation is a bad crime. It's unforgiven.
slideshows. Do I think the animation could be better? Yes. Do I think it takes away from the anime? No,
Yes.
not really. Me personally, what I kind of care about with anime and stuff like that is the story and the characters. Especially with isekai, I don't really like one-dimensional isekai protagonists, which is funny because
I only want to watch one-dimensional characters. I love when the characters, they have no personality. I love that. I love when the character is like the same as every character that I've seen ever. I love that.
Isekai protagonists are one-dimensional, and the beginning after the end doesn't have a one-dimensional protagonist. I think Arthur's story really carries the anime as a whole, and so I don't really mind when the fight scenes aren't that action-packed, because kinda ironically, the story is not about the action, it's about his growth as a character and not wanting to be violent. What I would say to those people is if you don't like the animation, then maybe go and read the webcomic. I've heard amazing things while I was doing research for this video.
I'll go read the rocks because I think the first time they tried to write it down through a rock like Moses did in the Bible.
So much so that it almost made me pick up the webcomic myself. But I stopped myself because season 2 is coming out on
I'm not gonna read the manga. I'm gonna read the rocks.
April 1st, I believe. And so I will be giving that a watch. I'm sure somebody in the comments by now has probably typed, no, they changed so much from the webcomic. The webcomic is so much better. I believe you. I'm a Tokyo Ghoul fan. Because all that matters to me is I
prefer the anime because I think the webtoon never can be better than the anime because I don't hear the sounds and I don't see them moving, so it's not better.
Questions.
I don't care if they're moving and talking. It's already better in the anime.
Is he a monster? Is he fated to become King Gray again? And does he deserve love? Because let's be honest, if you're only being good out of fear, what happens when you aren't afraid anymore? But that's what I think. Do you think Arthur deserves?
It's a great question. I don't know. If I'm afraid of being bad and I'm start being good, I'm gonna be afraid of being good and start being bad at the same point.